Like first. Yeah, I had to take. I had to take that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. What's up? Welcome back to the Mandalay Podcast, aka Vibes with Mandalay, live from the bakery. Shout out to Chill for letting us hold a bakery down always. And today I got a special guest with me, gorgeous chocolate, out of towner. You know what I'm saying? But she from the town now. I'm gonna let her get into it. What's up? What's your name? What's up? What's your name? Where you from?
My name is Lenise. I'm originally from Chicago, but I've been in New York going on 11 years now.
Now so your voice all soft now. You in your soft girl era now. Don't get it.
You know, I try to live the softest life. Okay. That's what I'm on. I'm trying to live my softest life.
That's what's up. So how was it growing up in Chicago? What part of Chicago you from?
I'm from the South Side.
You from the South Side? Old block? What's the break that down.
That's funny. It's funny that you say that. Okay, right. So I'm from the Southwest Side, so like more like Inglewood area or whatever. So I grew up there, but my mama, she ain't really fuck with them schools on that side. So I went to school over east, which is where Old Block is. So all of my friends, my childhood friends, they all from over there.
Okay.
But I went to school over there, but I went home every day. After school, after chilling breakfast, I went home. So I would say I have a nice, good mixture of Chicago because like I grew up on the Southwest Side. I went to school on the east side.
Okay.
Then my mother got married like right before high school, and then we moved to the suburbs too. And then after high school, I went to Northern Illinois University.
Okay.
Did that on campus shit, didn't like that shit. Moved back to Chicago to the South Side, Hyde Park, where I was from. So
Put me on. I don't know about Chicago. Put me on.
Yeah, so I lived in so when I moved back or whatever, I was on my bougie shit because I didn't want to move back to the suburbs, of course, with my mama, but I also wasn't going nowhere near where I grew up at. So the central point for the South Side, I would say, which is like a nicer neighborhood, is Hyde Park. So I lived across the street from when I had my own spot, and I had my own spot the whole time I was in college. I lived across the street from Louis Farrakhan.
Okay.
So, but it was like a lot of college housing and stuff like that over there. We lived down the street from Obama. Obama was like down our block, and then we had, I think Muhammad Ali's old house was also on our block. So Hyde Park is like where all the uppity black people, we get a little bit of money. You get a little bit more money, you could go stay in Hyde Park or whatever. So like it's a nicer area, but then you go 2 blocks over, you right back in the hood.
Okay. So was you fashionable in high school?
You know what? Somebody asked me that shit recently. I was a little offended. He's like, "Where'd you get this fashion?" It was a high school sweetheart. He was like, "Was you always like this?" And I was just like,
"It was a high school sweetheart."
So he was in high school, and I was just
he was in high school. He might have seen you.
Was you always like? And I was like, "I think I was always."
So if that was your high school sweetheart, he must have thought.
I don't know what, but you know, it was just urban brands though. Like, cause like our urban brands that we used to wear, like I wore a lot of Inichi in high school.
Okay.
Peppy.
Okay.
Inichi Peppy. Rockaware was my shit in high school. I don't know why. And something else. Who else was out there? Yeah, that was really it. I wore Peppy, Inichi, Rockaware. I had a couple little guest outfits here and there. But I was never like a label whore though. Like those urban brands was cool or whatever, but like I knew how to sew and make stuff. So I was just into fashion as a whole.
So you were sewing and making your own clothes in high school? Or?
Yeah. They wasn't that great, you know. Cause I started sewing when I was 6. So in elementary school, I was making like pillows. I had a pillow business. I used to make a killing. Like Mother's Day, Father's Day, I would customize them and shit. Like
you still do that now, or?
I was thinking about doing like a home decor like collection on some like Let's Take It Back because I haven't done it in so long. I think I will, but I'm kind of focused on clothing right now. But I do plan on doing like a home decor like anniversary type thing because I've been doing it so long. But yeah, in high school I drew a lot. I was more of a drawer, like getting my ideas out. Because I did so much stuff in high school, I didn't sew as much. I feel like I sewed way more in like junior high. And then in high school, I just was like, let me just at least get my ideas down. Because in high school, I was on the cheerleading team, I was on the dance team, I worked, like I had a full schedule. So I always was like, honestly, like super busy during high school.
What's your most memorable moment growing up in Chicago?
Memorable moment growing up in Chicago.
Yeah, we taking it back. We reminiscing until we get
to the parade. So we have a similar parade. I ain't gonna say a similar. It's called the Back to School Parade. It's called the Bud Billiken Parade.
Okay.
So they usually do it the Saturday before school starts. Right. So because I was on the dance team, like I got to dance in the parade or whatever. We talking about major rest style. But the only thing is having to dance for 20 fucking blocks. I don't know what type of energy we had in us because we was out there. When I tell you full routines, footwork in, popping, dropping, blocking, like all type of shit. Like it was like OG.
Right.
But I think that was my most memorable moment. It's just like dancing in the middle of the street with my friends, with like our family watching. And because I was a cheerleader, we were like Chicago City champs. Like my school was elite. We was like on some bring it on type shit. Like we was doing competitions and we was city champs for like 3 or 4 years in a row. So having like, I think it was just that, like the entertaining and the dancing and just being around, that's probably like the best part.
Okay.
And going to like the route in the rink, which was like the skating rinks or whatever. Yeah. But at the back of the skating rinks is like the juke parties. So 7 to 11, you go back there and you juke, which is
I was about to ask you like what you
kind of like y'all grind, like y'all Caribbean wine thing or whatever. But juke is like it's like a 4-man sport because the shorty, she bent over holding her friend like shoulders to keep her up. The dude is laid back and his friend is holding him up while he getting like kind of like a lap dance. It's a 4-man sport to like do it for real, but it was really just like.
I was about to ask you, was you partying and stuff and like partying like
in high school?
Yeah.
Well, we had a lot of basic parties. By the time high school came around, I moved to the burbs, so now everybody got houses. Like everybody got a big house. I lived not that far, and I went to high school with the dude who the Luster, like they was like the rich family around us. Like South Holland was like the richer area in the suburbs or whatever. So everybody had house parties and everybody parents had big ass houses. Because when I transferred high schools, we had a student parking lot. We all had cars, even me. Like I was like, y'all gonna put me out here. Y'all gotta make sure I keep up. And they did me dirty though. They did me dirty. I had a 1986 Toyota Corolla, so that shit was older than me. But I had a car though. And
you had a car in high school. That's big. That's a big thing.
It looked like a box though, but they had like what was the popular thing? They had the Impalas and the Monte Carlos. Okay. But my thing was I paid for my car. Like I paid for mine. I worked at McDonald's and I paid for mine. Y'all mamas bought y'all car. Mine is mine. Y'all got notes. Mine. I bought my stuff. They got it for me, but I had to pay it back. They bought it originally, but when the check was coming in, I was paying my car back or whatever.
So what made you move to New York City?
So I came here to visit. I want to say when I was 21 because I took a class. I went to Columbia College Chicago. It was a class called Harlem 1920s Black Art and Literature. That was the name of the class, and it just sounded interesting to me. And I learned, of course, we all learned a lot about the Harlem Renaissance and stuff in like elementary school and high school. So college, it's like it's a class specifically just for this. I take the class. I never forget my professor. His name was Arthur Amaker. He used to be in there lecturing, and he would talk about Harlem, and he would talk about like all the different things like Langston Hughes did and like Zora Neale Hurston. But at the end of the class, he's like, "But y'all just gotta go. Like y'all just gotta go to Harlem."
He used to always pump. You just gotta go.
You just gotta go.
Because Harlem got the most culture.
Right. Like, he would lecture, but he's like, "Y'all don't get it though. You just gotta go." And he was really into. We talked a lot about W.E.B. Du Bois as well as like Marcus Garvey and how their movements influenced like Malcolm X or whatever, who was really big in Harlem, and of course Martin Luther King. So I'm just like, you know what? I took that class, I want to say maybe like a year later. Or 21, because I'd already been there. Yeah, so the year later, I was
your first time coming to New York, you was 21?
Yes. So I was like, I'm going to go, because at least what I can do while I'm there is get fabrics, too, for my senior thesis, because Chicago got 3 fabric stores. And senior thesis is supposed to be your big one. You've been in school all this time. You're supposed to show them what you can do. So I'm like, I'm going to go get fabrics from there, because won't nobody have them. And then I can also go check out what Mr. Emeka was talking about, too. So I had a friend that had dropped out of Columbia, moved here, was a stylist at 106 and Park at the time. He was styling Roxy and Terrence. He like, I stay in Harlem, come stay with me or whatever for the weekend. And he lived right across from Corner Social, like right down that street or whatever. So I came here. The nigga ain't no shit because he told me to fly in through JFK. She told me to fly in through LaGuardia. I took the A from JFK all the way to Harlem. I was like, where am I getting off this train? And then I got off the train. I was on the AC. So I got off on the west side and then had to walk all the way back
to Lenox Avenue.
And I had a big ass duffel bag. I'm just like, this is a lot.
And this was your first time?
This was my first time. So I'm at JFK. So first of all, the ride was like an hour plus. Then I get off and I got to walk all the way to the other side. I was just like, as soon as I got to the door, I was like, nigga, what is going on? But I was just so happy to be here and seeing the brownstones in person and stuff. So I hurried up and I dropped my bags and I'm like, well, I'm just about to go for a walk. And he was working, so it's like he could really show me around or whatever.
Did you go to 106 with him, like assist him?
No, he did. I brought some of my clothes at the time, and then he went and he put them on Roxy.
So I didn't that go was with a moment for you. That was a highlight. That was. You telling everybody in Chicago, yo, Roxy got my clothes
Roxy
on.
got my clothes on. So that part was like really exciting. So I didn't go with
What
him,
was
but
it? What was the piece? What was
it was this brown draped top that had like a cow twist. Like I had got in my draping area and I thought I was in there.
So you was in your bag. You was
I was
like,
in my bag. Yeah, it looked really pretty on her too.
Okay.
And I gave him the clothes and then he said he was going to work. I'm like, well, I guess I'll go walk around.
Okay.
I walked around,
Was this a boyfriend or was this just somebody he was?
He was just somebody I was cool
I'm
with.
getting into it.
Yes. He was not a boyfriend at all. He was just a friend. That was it. But his sister was also there. She had came. It was during Fashion Week.
Okay.
So she was there, and I came. I think I had like a wrap. You know what wraps look like? It's just like when your hair is just straight down or whatever.
Okay.
She was like, "You gonna be in New York? We're gonna have to hook you up." So she sent me to the beauty supply store anyway to go. She's like, "Go buy this and this and this. I'm about to do your hair." Right. So I'm like, "And then I'm about to get a new do." Okay. So as I'm walking, I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to Sylvia's." I go to Sylvia's, thinking I'm about to just get something quick or whatever. Right. I met a guy at the bar. The bartender, he was Trinidadian.
Okay.
I had never even knew about that country. So that's how, like, I would say closed-minded people in Chicago are. Because even to this day, like, I've traveled a lot to the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows what any Caribbean island is besides Jamaica and Haiti.
Oh, wow.
Really, I had never heard of St. Vincent, St. Lucia. What? I had never heard of Trinity. So I'm like, well, where is that at?
Oh, wow. So this was like mad cultural.
Yeah, so it was like a culture shock because he had an accent. I'm like, where you from? And he told me, I was like, well, what's that? And he started telling me, but then he kept giving me drinks. Right. And he kept giving me drinks. I was so drunk. And I walked outside and I was just like, my feet was hurting. I'm like, I walked down 120.
But you had some shoes on?
I had some shoes. I don't know what I thought I was doing. I had some shoes on. I'm like, ooh, my feet hurt. So I walked down 125th. I saw a shoe store. I stopped in there. I got the shoes. I kept on walking. I went eventually to get the hair. Then I came back. But I was gone for like 4 hours or whatever. Okay. She's like, where you went? I was like, girl, I was exploring. But it was a good time. And I think that weekend, I knew that I was going to move here.
What made you fall in love with fashion? Like, what was the moment for you, like, yo, to fall in love? Like, yo, this is like how I'm gonna make my living. Like,
well, I'm not in love with fashion. I'm in love with creation.
Oh, you're in love
There's
with
a difference.
creation.
So
okay. What's the difference?
The difference is turning something into nothing. With fashion, you can just go buy things and style them. I'm obsessed with making things, like taking something that's like two-dimensional and turning it into something. Okay. And I've been doing that since I was 6. Like, my grandma taught me how to sew. My grandma taught me how to crochet. Like, she was just such a creator. She made like the most random things. You know how you collect like grocery bags and stuff like that? You put them inside a bag and put them somewhere. She created a chute. So we would put that shit at the top, and then when you wanted one, you just pull it out. Like, she just used to, and it was out of just some basic fabric or whatever.
So you was just making clothes?
Yeah, but we weren't just making clothes. We would make footies. We was making pillows. Like, I just wanted to make anything I could. I used to make little stuffed animals. Like,
wow.
I just like creating things. So I always tell people I'm not in love with fashion. I'm in love with creation.
So when did you fall in love with creating? Like,
with my grandma, so probably 6.
Oh,
yeah, because I've been creating since then. I've been making things and creating things with my hands since I was a little girl.
Oh, okay.
And it's the only thing I've ever done. I've only ever been in the fashion industry. I've never done anything outside of that McDonald's job, which I was like 16. But my first job was in retail, Rave Girl, Wet Seal. I went to McDonald's because Rave Girl was playing on them damn hours, and I needed to pay that car back. And McDonald's had them checks rolling in, so I went to McDonald's. But after McDonald's, I went right after I quit McDonald's. I quit McDonald's right before prom. I went right back into retail. And then I've spent like the 18 to maybe 25 in retail. And then once I moved here is when I got into corporate fashion.
Okay. So when did you move here, like, permanently? Like,
when I was 25.
So at 21, that was your first time here?
Just visiting,
So when you turned 25, you moved here permanently. Like, what made you, like, say, I'm going there permanent? Like, what was
the highest level you could pretty much go in Chicago in fashion is a store manager. Like, that's pretty much it. They don't have fashion jobs there. So I got a degree in design, but it's like the only place I can go is to manage like a store. And it ain't my store. It's like I'm managing somebody else's store.
Right.
So I felt like I got really high up on that chain really fast. Like, I was a store manager at Akira when I was 24. I'm running the team. I'm hiring everybody. I'm visual merchandise. But like, since I got there so quick, I was just like, what else is there to do?
Right.
Like, there's
you felt you reached your ceiling.
I reached my ceiling. And then I was also, at the same time, I had my own custom clothing business. So I'm out here. Everybody who come in Akira, which was a really dope retail store, if we couldn't find them an outfit, I would make them an outfit. And that's how I used to build my clientele. So I used to make wedding dresses, prom dresses, birthday dresses. I was the birthday dress girl for a long time. And birthday and maternity. Like, I used to.
So you used to make those, like.
Yeah, people come in, they can't fit. I'm like, well. And
the birthday dresses and the, the baby shower dresses.
Yes, that was like my thing for a long time. And then I positioned myself in a good place. I moved around the corner from the store when they made me the store manager. So
Okay.
I started at a different location, but
Right.
they opened one in Hyde Park, which is
Right.
where I grew up. It's where I'm from. So like
Right.
y'all putting a retail store in a black neighborhood.
Right.
The black neighborhood that I'm familiar with, I'm from, like,
Right.
and they gave it to the right person because there was no black managers and there were
Right.
no ones that were also young as me. And I took that store and I flipped it upside down. I was number one in the company in that store for 7 months straight. I'm the only black manager out of 21 managers, and I'm young.
Right.
And I just had done it already. I'm like, what else to do? So
Yeah.
I was 25 and I was like, well, I can learn a little bit more business. My
Right.
degree is in design.
Okay.
So I was looking for master programs.
Right.
So I found LIM,
Okay.
and I applied for their program to get an NPS in fashion management and merchandising. So I applied, I got in, I didn't even have to give them a 2 weeks. I gave them a 3 month because once I knew in September that I was going. I'm like, all right, y'all, well, school starting January,
Yeah.
so my last day will be December 31st, and then I'm pretty much out. I'm moving to New York.
Okay.
And I left. I had a 1-bedroom apartment not that far from the store. I started selling the stuff in my apartment, and then I packed up everything else, and I came here and stayed with one of my friends for like 2 or 3 weeks as I looked for an apartment, and then I went.
So you
back.
had like a savings, like you planned.
no
like,
savings, no savings.
No savings. So
I ain't
you
had no
moved to
damn
New
money.
York, you moved to New York with like just.
I ain't had no money.
Was it like it was just like that spontaneous?
It
like,
was spontaneous. I had 3 months to plan it out. I just,
Okay.
but I still had bills to pay regular because I still
Right.
got an apartment. Like
Right.
my apartment, that shit was like $1,300, and
Okay.
that was back then
Yeah,
or whatever.
hell
So,
yeah. So that's
that
a lot
plus
of
all the
money.
bills, I didn't really have no room to save. So like I
Right.
still had to pay like the regular bills. So what I did was like I started applying for jobs ahead of time,
Right.
but also with school, I'm gonna get a refund check. So I was
Okay.
like, when I get that refund bus, I'll be
Yeah.
able to pay my rent.
Right.
But the week I got here, I had a phone interview with a company first.
Okay.
And then when I got here, I had an actual in-person interview. And I got hired that week, and I started that following Monday, and school also started that Monday. So
Okay.
I kind of planned it out and just planned it ahead. And as soon as I got here,
You think it's like that's like God's plan? Like you think that's kinda,
yeah, because I got a job right away. School was starting. So, yeah, I figured it out really fast. But I also got robbed as soon as I moved to my apartment. First week, got me.
What?
Yep, I lived in,
You got robbed in New York?
the first week I was.
Oh wow!
The week I moved
Damn.
into that apartment, 'cause I stayed with my friend. She stayed in Bed-Stuy at the time.
Okay.
I was rushing because I still had all my stuff in that apartment in Chicago, and I ain't had nowhere to put it. And it's like I wasn't going to renew the lease, so I had to
Right.
hurry up and find something. So I don't really feel like I got a chance to find what I wanted because I wanted to live in Harlem. I
Right.
couldn't find nothing in Harlem, and that's how I even ended up in Brooklyn. And I ended up on Utica. In Crown Heights, but it was winter. I moved in January, so I
Right.
didn't really know. I didn't know how bad the neighborhood. I ain't gonna say it was a bad neighborhood. I didn't know where the hell I was until the
Right.
summertime. But I knew who I was that second week when I got robbed. But because they came in my
How did
crib.
They came in your crib. What you left it open? The door
No,
open?
the door. You know what? I didn't know about that slam lock shit or whatever. So
Yeah.
I just slammed it. I didn't actually go and like turn the key.
Right.
So I was rushing one day and I was gone all day. I worked at my job from 9 to 5. I went to school from 6 to 10. So I'm gone every day, Monday through Friday.
The whole day.
The whole day.
Right.
And when the boxes came, it was like 30 something boxes, and I lived on the 4th floor walk up. And they left the boxes outside on the street too. And they see me when I come up. So now I'm shifting these boxes up these 4, and I'm just by myself. And these
Yeah.
dudes was trying to help me, and it was like they could have been crackheads,
Okay.
possibly.
Right.
I didn't want them to help me because I ain't got nothing to give you. I'm broke.
Right,
like,
right.
I'm just like, so I'm like, no, I'm good. But they insisted on helping me, and I kept telling them, no, I'm
Yeah.
good. And when they was done, they was looking for something. I ain't had shit to get them. Like, that's why I told y'all not to help me. Like, I don't have anything.
Right.
I think them niggas is the ones that robbed me. I swear I do
Oh,
because they
wow.
helped me. And then I didn't have nothing, and then they knew where I was. I don't know. I'm not gonna blame them. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
you just-
They was looking for something I ain't have, and I told them niggas I ain't had no money. Like, I was in the negative. Like, so it's like I ain't got nothing to give you.
So you teach classes on fashion, right?
I do.
What got you into teaching classes on fashion? How was that?
Okay,
Like,
so I love education too, just as much as I love creation.
Okay.
Educate and create, that's like my little thing. So I always wanted to be a teacher. Like I like to help people. Like I like to.
Where do you teach at?
So I teach at FIT.
Oh, okay.
I'm
You
an
teach-
adjunct professor
Okay.
in the FBM department. But I started teaching on my own before I got the FIT job because I wanted to teach at FIT, but they never called back. I think I applied for Parsons, FIT. None of them ever called me. I'm like, well, you ain't gonna stop me from teaching. So I actually started teaching when I lived in the Bronx. I lived in Riverdale.
Okay.
So I just started.
So you lived all over New York. You lived in
Yeah.
the Bronx, Brooklyn, Harlem.
I did. So when I lived in the Bronx in Riverdale, I decided to just start teaching pattern making and draping classes. So people would come up, but I had a lot of people who would come from Brooklyn. There are people who would pay for me to come on location and then come to them and teach them in their home. So I don't know what it was. Something just told me to move to Brooklyn. Like, nobody wants to come up there. I was doing my podcast. My podcast was shot in Brooklyn. All my friends were in Brooklyn.
Okay.
The guy I was dating at the time was in Brooklyn. I got all these clients. So it's just like, why are you up here in the Bronx? And the reason why I got to the Bronx in the first place.
You was in Riverdale, so you was kind of far in the Bronx.
I had a car though.
Yeah,
but
that's like.
I was trying to figure out why I was in the Bronx. So I ended up in the Bronx after Harlem because of a Bronx nigga. I moved in with him.
Oh, you moved in with a Bronx nigga. So
in Co-op, wait, in Co-op City. I moved in with a dude in Co-op City, and then that nigga started cheating, and I moved out and was like, "Fuck you," and that's how I ended up in Riverdale. But I think in the back of my mind, I thought that we was gonna figure it out, which is why I stayed in the Bronx. But low key, I was mad because in Harlem, I really left everything.
Right.
I literally didn't take nothing with me. I just I gave it away. Because I'm thinking me and this nigga in love, we gonna make it happen. I'm moving to his apartment, and then I realized I had to start over, and I'm just like, don't you do that dumb shit again.
So cheating is a deal breaker for you? My fault. I don't want to get into. I ain't getting into the dating yet, but I had to hit that right there.
Excessive cheating.
So a nigga could cheat once, and
I think I could get over it. But this happened. I caught the nigga in my home. The one I moved into over in Riverdale. Because we were trying to figure it out. No.
Oh.
I left the apartment in Co-op City.
Okay.
And I moved to Riverdale. So now I live by myself. He lived by himself. But we're still trying to figure it out. Mm-hmm. I caught this nigga in my bathroom with my best friend.
Whoa.
In the middle of the night. The day before his sister's wedding. And still had to walk down the aisle with that nigga act like ain't nothing happened. So it fucked me up. And I was just like, why am I still up here? Something like that. I can't get over that. And I didn't got over all the cheating. I had got over plenty of cheating. This is why I draw the line, nigga. Not in my home, not with my friend. How dare y'all? It was just lucky I ended up on Snap. I didn't know.
We gonna get into that though. Let's get back to the fashion classes. Wow, that's tough.
But yeah, and after that, once I moved to Brooklyn, I feel like business took off more. I was still teaching classes out of my house, and then eventually in 2020, I opened up a commercial space, and then that's what we teach classes at now. And then I just started teaching at FIT like 2 years ago.
Okay, how was that?
I like it. They have academic freedom, so I can run my classroom the way I want to, which is what I like. I like to be able to teach my style the way I want to teach. I get confused as a student often, which is sometimes annoying.
That's not flattering?
It's flattering. Like, some parts it's flattering. I'm just like, no, I'm a teacher. Like,
because you come in with that shit on.
Yeah.
What you got on today? Let's say what you got on. What's up?
I got on mine.
Because they might think this is runs in your stockings.
It's not. It's part of the look, okay? I'm on my grunge thing today. So I'm a firm believer in dressing how I feel or whatever. And how things and fibers happens. Fibers run. Okay. That's the thing or whatever, but they don't run completely though. So
all this is you basically
this is the Jenna button down. So it's like a dress too. So it come all the way down, and then it has a matching skirt. I actually didn't even wear the skirt today. But it has like a matching skirt with it. It's a really dope denim, natural brass hardware.
And this is one of your designs. You see this coat?
You see this coat?
Tell us about this coat.
This is 100% lamb leather. It has
that's not vegan. That's real
leather. Okay. And it's lined with 100% silk too. And to me, it complemented like the whole little shirt detail. I'm very much so I would say I'm a structured girl. Okay. I like structured things.
What inspired your look today? Like, how do you dress like on an often day-to-day basis? Like, what's the inspiration behind the look today? Why this today?
Usually comfort more than anything else, because I literally go from meeting to meeting to teaching to meeting to this to that. So I like to wear something that I can dress up in or dress down. So it's like this, I can unbutton and give you a whole different look and put on a different boot.
So if you unbutton that, what's going on after that?
There might be something else. Like,
what's going to be under that? What's under that?
Like right now, I'm cool, but if I unbutton this, it's gonna get real sexy.
It's gonna get real sexy.
It's gonna get real sexy.
Okay, what's your sign?
I'm a Capricorn.
You're a Capricorn. Like, what's about Capricorn? Tell me something about a Capricorn woman.
We hardworking.
Y'all hardworking.
I'm gonna just throw it out there. I think we funny as hell. Like, in my opinion, like I don't know no Capricorn woman that's not hilarious. Like, we're all funny. My granny is Capricorn too, and that lady is hilarious. We're funny. I say we're dedicated. We're hardworking. We pretty.
Okay.
I don't know no ugly Capricorns.
Are you into astrology?
To a certain extent. Like, I know that for me, I'm into my sign. I don't know a lot about like a lot of the other signs. I don't really study them. But to me, the Capricorn has its representation. I am the GOAT.
All right.
I am the GOAT.
Do you study like the guys you date?
I know which ones I don't like.
How you know that, though?
Because I've dated more than one of the same sign of man.
Okay.
Actually, I only really have dated like 2 of the same signs. I've dated Capricorn men.
Okay.
And then I've dated like a lot of Leos.
Okay.
I don't like them Leos.
Why not?
I barely like them Capricorn men, to be honest. Them Leos is cocky. They don't hold account. Like they like to play the blame game. Like I don't really mess with the Leos. Like they like to play victim a lot, and it's just like, man, like you are in control of your situation.
What
like,
sign you like the most?
So far, I would say, surprisingly, the same sign as my father, which is very shocking. Libras.
Oh, Libra. All right.
I like Libras.
Okay.
I also have. I still like Capricorn men. I do.
Okay.
I still like them. Just the ones that I selected just probably wasn't the best, but I still do like Capricorn men because I have Capricorn men friends.
Okay.
So I would say them and.
Have you dated every sign?
I've dated Scorpios. I've dated Sagittariuses. I've dated Taurus. Have I dated an Aries man? I've dated an Aries man.
Okay.
I think that's really it.
So you into astrology? You be like that? It's a deal breaker if somebody say, "Yo, I'm a Capricorn."
No, that's not a deal breaker because everybody's also different. So it's not a different. It's like I'm
a Scorpio, so you said Scorpio. So
who
don't love us, right?
I like Scorpios.
Who don't love us?
Because even every dating doesn't always end in like us not dating no more. I could actually have a genuine friendship with some of those. So some of those like may have
That's
we may have went on some dates and it just didn't work out and now we're friends. And the fact that I can maintain a friendship with you after we've had like a romantic situation is always, to me, always a dope thing. Because like
That's
now
dope.
it's strictly platonic, period, and we'd never go back there.
Right, right. So what's one of the number one rules of fashion you live by?
Number one rule of fashion: wear clothes that fit you.
That's a good rule.
Wear
like,
clothes
let's
that
get to
fit
that.
you. So like, don't try to make the clothes fit you. You got to fit into the clothes. So that's my number one rule. Is like also just wearing things that's flattering. You know, over time, and I think for me, my body has changed. My weight goes up and down all the time. I have my skinny years. I got my thicker, more voluptuous years. But then I get on my bag and I work out more, and then I can get back down. So being able to dress with my body type, no matter what's going on with my body, and still look good to the point that people don't notice. I asked a guy the other day how much I weigh, and he's like, "I don't want to do that." I'm like, "No, for serious." Like,
But you asking the guy that for?
But either way, like, because like I'll tell somebody how much I weigh, and they can't tell because it's the way I dress.
Right,
know?
Exactly.
Yeah, like you would never know, like, because like it just, and even when I got on something tight, it's also evenly proportional. Even when I got on something tight, I know which fabrics compliment me and what fabrics don't. I know what cuts compliment me.
Right.
I know that, you know, I'm gonna look a lot slimmer if I wear a high rise than if I wear like a low rise. I know that, you know, my titties might be one of my best assets, so I know when to pull them out. You know, when to have that on with something
right now
else.
You ain't got them out right now. You got them in right now. You got the oversized look.
Right, I got the oversized look going on. But I know that like when that is like the focal point, then like the bottom can be like fitted or it can be loose. So it's like I just know which areas to compliment and how to compliment them and like what to wear, like fabrics and stuff.
So could you be a stylist?
I could be.
Because I heard there's no money in fashion.
Ain't no money in styling.
And maybe that's what it is.
There's
no
money in fashion.
Okay, but there's no money in styling, you don't think?
I think that you got to have a good celebrity client in order for you to have some real money in fashion, or you have to styling, or you have to be connected to TV. Because people who do wardrobes and stuff like that for movie sets and TV shows, they make good money. Okay. And then if you have a celebrity client that you're always dressing, like Law Roach, she has a Zendaya. Like if you have somebody like that, that's different. But in fashion, it's the way that you do it that makes
What's
the
the way?
money.
What's the way? Show the people the way.
I mean,
can you give us some tips and secrets?
I own a factory.
Let's get into it. You own a factory.
Yeah,
like the people don't know that. Like, know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay, well.
So how is that owning a factory? Because we in the bakery and we do a lot of prints. You see a lot of screen prints everywhere. So you could do all like these screen printing and these. You tell people where to go to get the lambskin and get the prints like the varsity.
No, I get it for them. That's the key.
Oh, you get it for them.
That's the
Oh,
key.
okay,
Yeah.
nice.
So the key is creating a business that there is a need for.
Right.
So because everybody want to be a designer,
Right.
I
And I also do clothes too. I call myself a consultant, a fashion consultant.
A fashion consultant.
Yeah,
I'm a fashion consultant too.
Yeah, okay.
So I would say the way you make money is by creating multiple different revenue streams in fashion. So
Right.
a brand is just one revenue stream.
Right.
Well, what about like teaching? It technically is a revenue stream. I get paid to teach.
Right.
Like, and then I ain't talking about for FIT. People come and take private classes with me.
Okay.
People come and take group classes with me. So I'm teaching them customized learning. So that one-on-one approach is good. I have a tour that I do, the Garment District tour. So I have an event. People pay $250, $300 for that. You know, so that's another revenue stream.
Let's talk about the Garment District tour. Let's get into that.
So the Garment District tour, I used to do them every month, or whatever I needed to make, and they used to sell out every month. People come from all over the U.S. to come to that tour or whatever.
Right.
So I always get a lot of people. So I started making it more limited, and then I raised the price on it too because of the value. And then I added all these different templates that you can use and like more like coaching offerings. So the tour is, we go to 18 different places. I teach you, I go through like the entire product development process and the production process. Problem is, people think those is the same thing, and they're not.
So,
because everybody's like always running to, like, I want to start a clothing line. I need a manufacturer.
Yeah, because I got a clothing line. Yeah,
but no, you don't.
Yeah,
because
I don't have.
You don't need a manufacturer because you don't have any products yet. You have to develop a product and then manufacture it.
Right.
So people run the manufacturers. Manufacturers are good at repetition.
Right.
They're not good at creating a good product. They are not fabric sourcers. They are not pattern makers. They are not merchandisers. They are none of those things.
They good to make whatever you got already.
Exactly.
They could just keep making
it. But also, if they don't know how to make it fit you, because like everything you bring, you might need to change things about it. Mm-hmm. So when you work with a product development team, which is what our core of our business is, you come with an idea and we come with all the different fabric options you can use for this idea. What the size range should look like for that idea. What the design details need to be like for that idea. So people always like quick to like run and try to make something instead of fully developing. You have to test the market. You have to then test the fit on different body types. Medium look like 100 different things on 100 different
like
people.
My body type is different all the time.
Exactly. So testing the product, having the right, and then also costing.
Right.
People will go and figure out how much something costs and then try to mark it up. You can't do that. You have to work backwards. Yeah. You have to decide what apparel market you want to be in. There's like 7 of them. Right. There's contemporary, there's better, there's bridge, there's luxury, there's fast fashion. There's all these different ones that have a different price point attached to it. Right. Now you have a lot of brands that work within all of them, like Donna Karan. Donna Karan is luxury.
Okay.
DKNY is contemporary. They're not the same thing. Donna Karan has a more
elevated.
I
like this talk. Right. Yeah.
Donna Karan has a more elevated 7-piece collection for more of a businesswoman, where DKNY is more knitwear, it's more flirty, it's more weekend driven. Okay. So if like Ralph Lauren is another example. Ralph Lauren is designer. Right. Polo is contemporary. RL label is better, and then Ralph by Ralph is their better label, which why you only see Ralph by Ralph and RL at like TJ Maxx or Ross and stuff like that. Like those are not the same brands. Those are called diffusion brands. Right. Because they started off trying to serve one market, then they started creating all these brands underneath it to serve different markets. And I think people see one thing and think that that's like you see Ralph Lauren or you see Donna Karan or you see like Michael Kors at Ross or TJ Maxx. That's not the same product. The bag itself, like for a bag, for instance, bag, the handles they'll do, because I used to work in this area, we make the handles leather. The rest of that bag is PVC.
Oh, wow.
That bag didn't come down from Calvin Klein or Donna Karan. We made that bag for Ross. We made that bag for Burlington. Like, so there's companies out there who buy licenses. So like G3, G3 owns the license for Donna Karan, Calvin Klein, Karl Lagerfeld outerwear and handbags. So they don't even own that. A licensee company owns that, who hires designers to then design for those things. And their main target customers are budget-friendly places like Macy's is one of their biggest customers. Okay. Burlington is one of their biggest customers. They're developing and creating products specifically for those stores. But with the Donna Karan model in mind, they change the materials, they change up the hardware, they change everything, and they make it cheap so that it goes to that consumer. And then on the price tag, that ain't nothing but marketing. That price tag says compare at. That's bullshit. Because that bag was $13, and then it's compare. That's marketing.
Right. That's so. When you styling, like, would you style people? Like, do you look at like weight and everything and height? Like, could you style me?
I could. I stay away from styling people though, because like I said, they don't make no money creating. So think about it this way: if I style you, you're gonna pay me maybe a couple $100s for my time. Right. If I create a clothing line for someone, which is what I do, I make 10 bands off each person. Okay. Plus, I have people to do 20, drop $30,000. So if you're not spending at least at minimum, like our minimum order is like $8,000. You cannot work with me if you don't have at least $8,000. So what you do, like you
manufacture everything?
We manufacture everything.
So like
we
you got a minimum.
Product.
You got a
we don't have no minimums. That's the great thing.
You don't have no minimum.
Right. We ain't got no MO.
So like, okay. So like I could come to you because I do custom clothes and I take measurements and stuff, so I could come to you with like some leather fabrics, or you like to go.
No, we ain't gonna do none of that because I'm gonna do it for you. Because more than likely you're gonna bring me some shit I can't use. Because you think you know something. Because a lot of times they be thinking they know stuff. Like, you would bring me a cowhide. I can't use cowhide for this. I need a lamb for that. So, not knowing the differences between certain fabrications. And then your measurements, you ain't going to do them like me. I'm a tech designer. So, you might not even got the right measurements. You might have, like, the bust, but I need the bust depth. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm better when it comes to fit. So, a lot of times, I don't think that a lot of designers and stylists have the same skill set as me. That's really what it is. And then even my team, though. My team is the same way because I've trained them to focus on the technical side of things or whatever to make sure things fit. You're going to take some measurements, and when we let clients take their own measurements, that shit be terrible. And then we got to do it all over again.
No, but I take measurements. This is what I do now. We ain't going to say my measurements is bad. I got good measurements, people.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the loyalty swagger cool brand.
You might not have enough for what I need, okay? Because I'm making the pattern. I'm making the base pattern of it. So I have to then take those measurements. Right. It's not just about the measurements. It's also about the body type. Definitely. Because I can have
because I'm like big at the top, small.
Exactly. So like around the hip.
Right.
A girl, it could be 3 different girls they all 45 around the hip. Right. But one of them may have more hips than they have ass, or more ass than they have hips. Proportion is a thing. Right. So I then have to take those measurements and create a geometric pattern to put it on your body. So that is geometry and anatomy combined. I have to literally sit there and make shapes and put them on your particular body type.
You know what you're talking about. Because I'll just be like, yo, here 3X, here 2X.
And then I'll be like, what that mean? How tall is he? Where he at 3? Like, so to me, I'm just a little bit more detailed because like I told you, I focus on fit. Because there's so many people that walk around with ill-fitting clothes, they don't even notice. If you got to keep adjusting shit all day, the shit don't fit. I want to be able to walk freely. You gotta
niggas be like this and pulling it.
You be pulling stuff down, readjusting, fitting. It don't fit, bro. Right. Like, and that's for women too. Like if you see a girl always like trying to pull her skirt down, it's because it's not big enough at the hip. Because it wouldn't be doing that. Like naturally, your body does move, but you shouldn't have to readjust your clothes every 5 minutes. Okay. Like you shouldn't. Like they're supposed to fit right if you was buying the right size. But also, it's not just you. It's also the people that are creating clothes. They have a particular model in mind. So if I never would. But if I was to buy something off Fashion Nova, that shit ain't gonna fit me. I don't have that little ass waist. And the way they cut their garments is for girls that probably got made bodies. So little waist, big ass. I ain't built like that. Okay. Like I don't have a little waist.
When the last time you brought clothes from somewhere else besides? Do you make everything you wear?
I don't make everything I wear, but I only wear black brands though. So I only shop black designers. Okay. Yeah. So I have stuff from like Hanifa, Fee Noel, Sammy B. Like I buy from a lot of black.
Put the people on. I don't know these brands. Put the people on.
A lot of these women was on Project One Way too. So like a lot of I buy from black brands, mostly from here. Like Fee Noel is here. Hanifa is based in Maryland. Sammy is over in LA, but they all have very active websites. And then because I'm in the fashion world, I know a lot of black designers, and then think about it, I got a whole bunch of black designer clients. You supported my business by helping me, like actually making your clothing line. I then in turn will go and support your business and buy from you. So a lot of products that I create, I will go to the persons like who I've made their website. I will go and order from their website and support their business just like they supported mine. Oh, nice. Yeah, so if I'm a target consumer, because I had one girl, her brand is called Gym Slut. She based out in Houston. Her stuff, I'll go to the gym in it because I don't be going to the gym. I go to Pilates. But it's so damn cute. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna put on my Gym Slut and I'm gonna go to the gym. But and I made it, of course. Right. But I'm going to now go support her business and buy from her and wear it.
Right. So do you go to New York Fashion Week? Do you go to the shows and stuff?
We more behind the scenes. I get invited to a lot of shows. Yeah. I gotta really not be tired because that's a very busy time for us, and a lot of times the shows are during the day when we're working too. Yeah. So if I'll really fuck with them.
So in your factory, you really hands on making the clothes yourself too, or you just got the workers? Because we know you grew up sewing since 6, but
I don't sew as much as I used to. I still do all of the fittings, and I do because it's like I'm the one that has a really good eye.
I know, like, because I'm like, yo, because you got to teach, do this, your hands is everywhere.
The way the workflow goes, I do all the initial meetings with the clients or whatever to break down and design details. Somebody else from the team might necessarily do their sketches. Some parts of the team, they'll do the fabric sourcing. I got the final look and approval. Sometimes it depends on what it is, because I know they've done it multiple times. I'll let them pick it. Okay. If they haven't, then I'm going to look at it myself. I do all of the fittings for the most part. And then my team does like the patterns, the sewing and stuff like that. I'll tell them what type of construction I want. Like, okay, I want that one with flat fill seams. I want you to do a French seam here. I want you to finish it like this or whatever. So if they need me and if I'm there, because now I'm at FIT a lot more than I used to be, if I'm there, I do. I'll like, what you need cut, I can cut stuff for you. If you need something sewn, I can sew. So I do jump in there when I can. But even though I'm a teacher, but I teach 3 classes now. I was trying to only teach 1.
What are your classes about? Let's get into
So
your
I
classes.
teach corporate social responsibility.
Okay, what is that about? What is that?
Have a CSR strategy.
Okay.
It's about ethics and sustainability.
Okay.
So we do a lot of case studies and analyzing different fashion companies and what they're doing right, labor rights, human rights. We do a lot of those stuff, and then we come up with solutions more reactive and proactive to how companies can be better, because people get canceled. We in cancel culture. Like with Gucci, with the whole blackface thing, that's something a CSR representative would have worked on to either they could have prevented that by having more diversity in their company, or when they got in front of it, they could have issued some type of apology or something like that. So that's what they focus on that side. I teach fashion business practices, which I teach them how to build a business from top to bottom.
Okay.
This semester at least. Last semester I taught fashion data analytics, so that's more for when you introduce.
Have you by you teaching them classes, have you seen success in the students?
Well, I teach a lot of 200, which they're sophomores, so they haven't graduated yet. I do teach a lot of 300 level, but they don't really graduate until after it's like the 4th semester. So it's hard to say. Like when they first get out of school, honestly, they just want to go entry level. Like they want to get a job in the industry, and they want to like start making money. So not a lot of them are starting businesses directly out of school. A lot of them are more so working and then working on their businesses on the side. But I'm in school too.
Okay.
I'm getting a master's in global fashion management right now, so I'm on campus during the day teaching, and at night I'm there. That's why I'm not at the studio.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm at FIT a lot more because of me being in school too. Now when school is over, which I'll graduate next May, I'll be back in my studio more often and being a lot more hands-on.
And what's the next class about? I know you had 3 classes.
I teach 2 of the same sections, but I also teach merchandising strategy. So that helps you understand how to create an assortment plan and an inventory plan before you actually go and buy some stuff, or like go and make sure.
So you won't just buy bullshit.
Yeah.
So you know what you're buying.
Yeah. So that's more.
Chio just stepped in the building. Shout out to Chio too. He just walked in.
Hey,
So maybe you could give Chio some tips. Chio been doing this shit forever though. Like he been definitely.
He probably already knows all this stuff.
Yeah, we in his establishment right now. You know what I'm saying?
He probably already knows. So I teach a lot more math and formula based. Like you looking at your inventory on a weekly basis and understanding what is like your colors that are most popular, what are the sizes that are the most popular, or looking at like lead time variances, what vendors take longer to get things done versus others, so that way you can plan out a 6-month plan, and it'll have what your sales through should look like. You should of course always account for like damages or shortages and stuff like that. So it's like it always changes because you just never know how the world is going to move or whatever, but it helps them understand how to do a good buy. You also have to do trend research to make sure you're even buying the right things, and then you also have to make sure whatever you buy aligns with the consumer. So that's what I teach.
So what advice would you give somebody that's trying to get in the industry?
Read.
Like,
because people don't like to read, like really.
Like that's trying to like
people don't
clothes.
like to read. Like the biggest piece of advice I can say
You said
is,
read, like what's that?
Like keep up with what is going on, yo. Like read Women's Wear Daily, read Business of Fashion, read Fashion Night. See where, because they talk about what companies are doing great. They talk about companies when they're doing really bad and doing shitty. You will learn so much just from reading, but also keeping up. Like AI is coming in and taking over and stuff, and understanding how to use like a proper way to use like a DALL-E, a ChatGPT, how to use all these different artistic programs. So the biggest thing I can say is education. Like you don't have to go to a school, but you do got to educate yourself in this business in order to continue to be progressive. Like most fashion companies, like I said, that are owned by licensees. Why you think the licensees own them? Them niggas went bankrupt, and then they had to get a bailout, and somebody bought them and took over their brand. Kate Spade killed herself. They took her brand because she wasn't doing it no more. So it's only a certain level. Like if you're not keeping up and you're not going with the times and you're not educating yourself and you're not making quick decisions, you can easily be broke. Like, have you ever heard of Capri?
Capri, I think I've heard of Capri.
So Capri just bought Versace and Michael Kors, and they only had Versace and Michael Kors a couple months. They just lost $30 billion. Wow. Not making the right decisions, trying to expand the assortment instead of focusing on their core customer. Like literally just going with the brand. They just lost $30 billion. That's and y'all just, how much y'all just bought it?
Yeah, like.
And they were supposed to revive Versace and revive Michael Kors, and they ain't do shit but tank the sales.
Do you think you could revive like? Can you revive like Louis? Can you do like what Virgil and stuff is doing? Would you work for like a Louis?
Yeah, but that's why I'm getting the master's in global fashion management.
Okay.
I would consult because I got my own business. At the end of the day, I'm staying there.
All right.
But I would consult just because I'm good at strategy. I'm good at solutions too. So and it's funny because my assistant said that earlier. She's like, you be fast on the solutions. Yeah. Like I know how to navigate, but I'm also very versed in a lot of different product categories. I'm versed in production, product development, merchandising, design. So I know the complete supply chain.
Right.
So because I have an understanding of the supply chain and I know every market, so not only do I know the ready-to-wear market, I know the budget market, which
so,
is your
right,
Forever 21.
You say you know every market. So what market is like the hip hop market and
the urban market? But no, well, it depends because it's your price point. Because there's some hip hop brands that will fall more budget, and budget is pretty much $30 to like $100, and then you got better, which is more like $100 to $200. Then you got bridge, which is like $200 to $300, and then contemporary can be anywhere between like $2 and like $8. So depending on the price point of the brand, they would fall into a different apparel category.
How should someone budget, like market their budget, like budget their closing? Like should they just be like, yo, I want to be Versace, so my shit $500.
Okay, so if you want to be Versace, who's the Versace customer?
Who's the customer?
An old white person is a Versace. Like, think about it. Like, and then I mean, you got some celebrities that rock Versace, but the core Versace customer is, first of all, probably lives in a hotter climate. So LA, Miami is.
So if someone lives in Harlem, they coming out with a clothing line. Who should they market to?
It depends on what they making. Are they making athleisure? Are they making swimwear? Are they making outerwear?
So let's say we gonna go with the basics. They making sweatsuits, track stuff and stuff like that, like track jackets.
But who's they target market? Is it millennial? Because we between like 30 and like 45 now. Is it a younger demographic? Is it like 18, 20? Because you got
who's spending the most money?
The millennials, because the younger ones, they ain't got no damn money. They straight out of college, you know, like they don't have. Millennials are right now probably the people who spend the most money because we are in the height of our careers right now. We're making a lot more money than we made in our 20s and stuff. So millennial, I think now is like 33 to like about 47. Those the ones that got it. Like they didn't bought their houses. They got, you know, they making sure they credit on point. They already done all that dumb shit before, so they are economically just in a better place to spend more money. Now, even though they can spend more money, doesn't mean they will if they don't see the value in the product. Why am I buying your sweatsuit opposed to buying this one? What are you offering that's different? You got Egyptian cotton? Are you using Pima cotton? Are you making stateside? Are you making USA made clothes, or are you making it in China? Because if you're making it in China, I'm not paying all that for it because I know what it's worth. I know the quality. I know it's going to fall apart.
But the average consumer, you might know what it's worth, but the average consumer might not know what it's worth.
Education, what I said.
Okay.
You should know how you spending your money. Like, you should know that. Like, if you just spending your money frivolously, then that's
they might just say, yo, that shit look fly. Like,
right, but then get mad about it later though when it's like, man,
because it should be having boogers on it.
Exactly.
We call it boogers when they got the little cotton balls on it.
At the time, but you got to think about the life cycle of the product. Right. If you only thinking about right now, which means you don't even look at the content of the shit, if that shit straight up say 100% polyester, you probably know it ain't gonna last that long. Okay. Polyester is not biodegradable, and it also just fucks up. It's a man-made fiber. You know that 100% cotton is going to last longer. That's just basic shit. It's man-made versus natural, you know? Okay. So if you don't pay attention, that's fine. That's on you. But don't get mad when you're like, damn, I spent 100 something, 300 on this, and now it look like this. Did you look at the label, nigga? And if you did not look at the label, if you bought it online, it's always in the description. It's against the law not to. Okay. It's a TFIPA regulation. You cannot sell clothes in this country, no country, without the content, the country of origin, and how to take care of it with the care instructions. So every website has it, and every clothing you ever look at will have a label in it. It's saying how to take care of it and where it's from. So what's some fashion tips you'll give somebody for the winter, in the summer? Like, since we in the winter time. So winter, what's some make sure you got a good ass coat, okay? Okay. You be outside, okay? Make sure you got a good coat. Okay. A classic boot that you could wear. Okay. Definitely a good sweater. It could be crew neck or a V-neck. Oversized scarf, because you could do so much with an oversized scarf. You could play with that a little bit. And then a good, whatever your pant leg style is. So if you're a boot cut person, make sure you got a couple good boot cuts. If you're a flare leg person, flare leg. And then always some type of crisp white button down, men or women. Everybody need a crisp white button down. I was about to ask, because I seen your podcast. You said, what's a piece every woman and every man? Crisp white button down, without doubt, in a cardigan. Every man needs a good cardigan or like a car coat, and every woman needs a cardigan or a car coat too. And a white button down, because you can do a lot with that. So what's some tips that you would give somebody that say, yo, I want to sell clothes and I want to make clothes? What's some good tips? Get your money together, because the amount of money that you need to put into having a clothing line, well, two things, money and patience, because you might not see a return on your investment right away. because you got to put out a lot of money and then wait for it to come back as you build up the brand. So patience is a virtue because you might not make that money back the first year or the second year. You might not even see that shit until like the third or fourth year. So patience, but also you have to keep putting into it. So I'm gonna say dedication, because just the first collection did not do what you thought. It doesn't mean stop. It doesn't mean that. It means that maybe take a step back, put out something else, circle back to that.
Right.
That's really what I did. Like, I've had collections that may have not done what I wanted them to do. It could have just been the timing off. So merchandising is having the right product at the right time, at the right place for the right consumer. You could have just put it out at the wrong time and people weren't looking for that. But that don't mean that style is
Timing
dead.
is everything.
Timing is everything.
Timing is definitely
Come on
everything.
and run it back. I've done that. I ran back a coat that I've had for 3 years and people just started buying it. I'm like, well, now's the time, you know? So it's just like, fashion doesn't really fade, and I make classic pieces, and I think a lot of people like.
You think you make classic pieces?
I do make classic pieces. I do. I have on a button down right now. It's a spin on it, but also this is just a trench.
Right.
Like trenches are a classic thing, no matter how they are. So I still make classic silhouettes. I don't do shit that you're not gonna wear. I just put my own spin on things.
Right. So, what's some pros and cons in the fashion industry?
Well, pro is that you can do it without a degree. You don't necessarily got to go to school for it. If you're naturally creative and you're naturally good at it, it's something you can do without having a lot of education. Do you need to educate yourself on business? Absolutely. Once you get in it, you can always go back and educate yourself, but it's something that you don't necessarily need to have necessarily schoolwork for.
Okay.
A con would be that, well, first of all, in the corporate fashion industry, it's hard to get black people there. So a lot of things you got to do on your own. So that would be a con, like not always having like a lot of resources, worrying about people gatekeeping and not getting the right information. So you got some things that are just really tight knit that you can't get access to. But then the pro is
you hear Kanye talk about that a lot, the gatekeeping.
The gatekeeping.
Yeah.
But the pro is that there's 100 different ways to be a fashion designer. There's 100 different ways. Like, you can be a custom designer, you could be a bespoke designer, you could be a made to order. Like, there's so many different ways you can go about it. It's not one way. You just gotta find your niche. It's not one way. And there's so many product categories.
Right.
Like, you can only do outerwear if you want to, or you can only do hats. Like, it's just so much variety there.
Right. So, I gotta get into it. We in New York City.
Lordy. Oh, Lord.
How is dating in New York City for you?
Dating. I've been here 11 years.
Okay.
In the 11-year span I've been here, I've had 3 relationships in 11 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 relationships.
Okay.
And the first one, I think, was more, I was in survival mode. Because, I told you about I had got robbed and all this stuff.
Right.
So that was the one thing there. And I'm ended up moving to Long Island with him, too, which was also just a terrible thing.
Okay.
Never let a man tell you to quit your job and to focus on your business because he got you, and then get you there and then be trying to treat you like a fucking stepper wife or trying to control you. You know what? Let me go back in the job now.
Right,
Let me go back in my own apartment because this ain't how I'm about to live.
Right.
I would say that I don't think it's like trash. I think that it is not being delulu. If that makes sense.
That
like,
makes a
you
lot
have
of
to
sense.
recognize something for what it is, Okay. When dating or whatever, it's only trash if you allow it to be trash. So like, if I don't rock with you, then I'm just not gonna talk to you no more.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna I don't do that toxic shit. Once it's a rap, it's just a rap, and that's it. I think that's the key, like knowing when to just let go.
How do you know? How do you know?
It's easy. Like, if you don't like me, then I don't like you.
So you only date people that like you?
Yeah, because I'm not gonna force you to take me out. I'm not gonna. First of all, I ain't gonna tell you how to treat me, because if you don't know, then we in the wrong place anyway. You know?
Right.
But I think that knowing, but also not equating certain things. A lot of people put sex as a, we had sex.
We go together.
We go together.
Actually,
that's that bullshit. Now, if you choose to give up pussy, that's what you want to do.
Right.
But don't be mad afterwards if they don't fuck with you or whatever.
Right.
You chose to give it up. But also, I think that sometimes I don't get that soul tied. I've heard that before.
Okay.
Like that you can have sex with somebody and then y'all soul tied, and I'm
Oh,
like,
all right.
I can
Do you
have sex
believe
with
in
you and
soul
not
tie?
talk to your ass the next day, or never again. Like it never happened. Like to me, those two are not the same thing.
Right.
I give you my heart. I give you my time. I give you that. That's when you got me. Because I've had sex with someone that didn't talk to me, and he just kept trying. I'm like, I don't like you. That was a mistake. Like I've done that. Like, and then he keeps trying. I'm just like, he didn't understand that was just a one-time
So
thing.
you was a savage mode. So you went straight future on the nigga.
After them relationships failed, I ain't gonna lie, I got in my hot girl energy, you know.
Okay.
And we was on a vacation. My nigga, what happened over there in that country, stay over there.
Okay.
We back in New York.
So the girls trips it really be going down. Oh, like I thought that was a myth.
That is not a myth. Well, at least not in my friend group. They do it.
Oh, your friend group.
It's not a myth. We've had some good time. We've even had what they call our first trip.
Where was these trips at? I want to know. Where was it? Jamaica, Miami, or
our first trip out the country? We had an MPP night.
MP, what's that?
No panty pack, which means everybody has to have sex tonight. We're going out and nobody's wearing panties.
Hold on, let me put the drink
like
down.
21.
I need to put the drink down
Like
for that.
So like
that's
everybody,
the name of this episode. What's that called?
MPP night.
No panties with
no panty pack, meaning nobody.
Okay.
Nobody
MPP.
can wear panties because we all gonna have sex tonight. So nobody wear panties and everybody gotta wear a dress. So it's easy because technically you can get it anywhere on vacation.
Absolutely,
so that's what it was. But to me, it's like I just don't equate the two. Like I don't. If I spend my time with you, like that's like I'm there with you. But if I dead ass, we had sex one time, I didn't hit you afterwards. We didn't talk afterwards. I don't do small talk.
Do that count?
What?
Like if you had sex one time? Because you know how some people be like, nah, that ain't a body.
I mean, I don't care a fuck about that. I'm grown as fuck. Well, I don't care about that because I'm grown.
Yeah.
I wish you would.
Okay.
I don't ask people what their body count is. Don't ask me that because to be honest or whatever, I'm 36. I started having sex when I was 16. Right. So I'm 20 years in. I don't know.
Yeah, like.
Because that's a real answer though. It's like if somebody was to ask me that, I'm like, I wasn't keeping a tally. Like I don't know. Like I've been having sex for 20 years. Like there's some people. One time when somebody asked me, I dead ass tried to write the list, and I was like, well, I want to know. Somebody asked me, and I didn't. I was like, well, honestly, I don't know. But it made me want to just know for myself. Right. But then I got halfway through the list, and I was forgetting shit, and people. I'm like, I ain't doing this shit. And I gave up. I was like, I know it was somebody in between, like this high school, college, but I couldn't remember. In fact, I couldn't even remember the person's name. I was just like.
That's what I'm like. It gets like that gets blurry like after a certain
and the trips and stuff like that. I can remember like my
especially
first.
them NPP nights.
We didn't have that all the time. That was just the first one. That was the first
NPP nights sound fire. I ain't gonna lie.
We was 21 though.
I guess if somebody if your girl or your wife going on them type joints, that's a little different.
We was 21 when nobody married.
Wasn't last week? You sure? You sure them MVP?
I haven't had one of those since I was in my 20s.
You might be due for one of them MVP now.
No, I don't have those no more. But I go on girl trips, but most of the times the girls that be going on girl trips, at least for me, we all single.
Okay.
Like I haven't had like no girls trips with like wives, unless it was like a bachelorette party, which ain't shit going down in no bachelorette party. Like, oh, that's the way. But if it's a girl trip, it's usually a bunch of single girls like going together.
Okay. No boyfriends or nothing in that situation.
No, single. Like they're like nobody has a significant other. Okay. You know. For most part, they be with their significant others. Like you know. Now I've had a couples trip, like when I was in a relationship, and then that's different. You know, that's different energy, but. When I have every time I've had a girl trip, it's always been groups of single girls together. Right. Yeah.
So, since you are you single now or are you dating? Mm-hmm. All right.
I date.
You date. You said you relationship, situationship.
I ain't got no relationship. I don't have no relationship, situationship. I have maybe like one that could potentially turn into something more, but okay. I'm not sure. I don't know yet.
Do you hop in DMs and stuff like that?
I don't do that. Why would I slide in the DM when I'm the catch?
Nah, you might see a dude you like and you might be like, yo, shoot your shot.
I might like a picture.
So how do you shoot your shot?
That's me, like in the picture.
That's it?
Yeah. Maybe a hard eyes.
A hard eye. Oh, you got hard eyes like under comment or like on the story?
Story.
So your hard eyes a story?
Yeah, I'll hard eye a story.
Oh, okay. So
but that's it. That's all you get from me.
That's all you getting from you is a hard eyes. You're not really shooting your shot?
I'm never gonna shoot my shot.
So
I'm old school in that way. Like, first of all, I don't think I've ever dated anyone from social media. Like,
you never just seen somebody from Instagram and just started dating?
All of my relationships have been people that I've met in person organically, but I've never actually dated like from social. Oh. Because it's like, to me, you probably slid in like 100 other DMs, you know.
But ain't that what single people do though?
Men.
Not women?
Maybe women. I ain't one of them.
Because I was gonna ask you, do like I seen some people make a close friends and just what they crushing it.
I know somebody who does that too. I know somebody who does that too. I've never done that. No, I don't do that. Yeah, I like to meet people like in person. And I feel like I have a big enough network, and I go out. I make sure I go out and meet people and stuff like that I could meet somebody in person. But I think I ain't gonna say it's weird because I know it's like the way it goes. But I am not a big texter because I'm typically busy. I'm not always on the phone a lot either. So my in-person interaction is the best interaction with me.
Nice. So what's one of your toxic traits before we end the pod? We getting close to the end now.
Toxic trait. I'm very nonchalant.
Nonchalant. So you rather like it is what it is type situation?
Yeah.
So is that toxic
because I think they want me to care a little bit more, and I don't. I do care. I just won't say shit.
Why?
I let people be themselves or whatever. So it's like because you should speak up.
Yeah.
And you should say something when something
that's bothering you. That's a part of communication. Yeah. Because you like that communication.
But that's a toxic trait. So I ain't gonna say shit. I'm just gonna get ghosts on your ass. I ain't gonna say a word.
What?
I'm just gonna be like, all right. Like I won't say nothing. Like I recently stopped talking to someone. And I also unfollowed him on Instagram because, like I said, when it's dead, it's dead. Right. Nigga text me, it was just like, does the unfollow count in person? I'm going to be in town. I almost wrote back, nigga, fuck you. But I wouldn't be me if I did. And what I did, though, because it's toxic, is I ain't never in my life had on a read receipt. I turned that shit on just to make sure he know that I read it.
Yeah,
I purposely ignored it.
What's the read receipt? Like, a lot of women do that, the read receipt.
I never had that. I wanted him to know that I read it. And I specifically ignored you. Because I'm not talking to you. Like, to me, my mother always said, it's better to be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. I ain't got nothing to say. You did exactly what you did. We don't got to talk about it. It don't have to be a back and forth thing. You stay over there. I'm going to go on over here. So I ain't going to say nothing. And I could speak up because it was something that bothered me. And I could have. But to me, yeah, I'm good. So I'm really not sure.
So you ain't speak up on the fact. So they did something you ain't like and you never...
Nope.
Why not?
No need. You know what you did.
So who's one of the flyest celebrities? I'm just switching gears right now. Who's one of the flyest celebrities that you like, oh, all right, they get
man
styled
or woman?
up? Both.
I think Fab is fly as fuck.
You like Fab?
I like the way he dressed. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I think Fab is fly.
You might like them Brooklyn niggas then.
No,
Fab be cool. I fuck with Fab. Fab be throwing, he got his moments. He got moments.
I like Fab. Woman-wise, who's a woman that be putting that shit on?
Yeah.
She's not a celebrity, but she's kind of. She used to date Rick Ross. Her name is Aisha Tyria. She swaggy.
She swaggy. She throw that shit on.
She throw that shit on.
Okay.
Yeah. And then what other men do I like the way that I like the way Joey Badass dress.
Okay.
I think he's fly as
well. You like them hood niggas. You like them hood?
How is that hood?
I don't know. Like
I don't think that's hood. Like who's you want me to give you somebody that's
I'm just getting your thoughts and your opinions.
I'm trying to think about somebody else that I like the way they dress.
Women. Give me a woman. I like women. You know what I'm saying? These niggas, I fuck with niggas pause, but
I mean, I think that it's because also I like her stylist. I like Colin, so I like the way Cardi B dresses too.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think he knows how to highlight different things in her, but he also is very diverse with the way she dresses too.
Okay.
I like Lotto. I think she dresses really cute and like dainty, but she still know how to put something on too. I like the way Cash Doll dresses too.
Okay. So for my last question, what's your biggest crash out story?
What you mean?
Because I know you done crashed out on one of these niggas that cheated on you. So what you done did, took a nigga phone, broke the house, tore the house down. We know you ain't no angel behind them pretty eyes. So what's your biggest crash out story for my last question?
Crash out.
Yeah, we know you crashed. You from Chicago.
What a long
that old block, so you know you might have came
like did something crazy?
You done did something crazy to
I don't know.
Nigga.
Well, I kind of got two. I don't know if it's crazy. So the Long Island dude or whatever.
Okay.
He after I was just over that whole like, I guess he just wanted to try to control me. He went to Miami for Carnival for his birthday. I found that apartment in Harlem, packed up that whole fucking house, and moved out like a thief in the knife. I let that nigga one knife, one spoon, one fork. Like I took everything in the house. I bought it though. Okay. Everything I took, I bought. And I never talked to him, never seen him, nothing again. Literally took his whole house and left. So I don't know if that's crash out, but the second one.
That's not really crash out.
So crash, okay. So the one I spoke about before about finding a friend in the bathroom type vibe.
Okay.
So
yeah, that was crazy.
So I didn't do anything that day. I was too in shock that day in particular. So I didn't do nothing that day. But I think that I was still trying to get over it and trying to work through and try to get past it. So I want to say that happened in like February because it was right before sister wedding. In May, we were still trying to figure it out. So one of my friends had a birthday party at Hudson Terrace.
Okay.
And had a little section and stuff like that. And her fiance, well, her husband, her husband. But at the time, they was just, dating. They had a section. We was chilling. And my ex-boyfriend ended up dancing on this girl. And, I mean, her birthday falls on Cinco de Mayo, which means there was a lot of tequila in my system. So he danced behind this girl, and I think that I was...
That was your boyfriend dancing
Yeah, my boyfriend danced behind
her. And you was there at the party.
In front of everybody, too. So also, not only was it embarrassing, I'm still not over the last time you cheated. And to me, dancing is not cheating.
So you tried to stay with him after you caught him with your best friend?
Yeah, I tried.
Oh, that's different.
I tried. I did. I did. I tried. And she was the third one. I was trying.
Man, we gotta love our black queens.
Look,
let me just give this disclaimer. We gotta love our black queens because that's some strong-hearted.
I was trying.
You really love that
4 months
man.
later, I was trying my hardest.
Wow.
So he was dancing, and it wasn't even
baby.
like he did anything. But it's just like, I think at that moment, all I could feel was like, I ain't never gonna be enough for you. And that's what I felt at that moment. I'm like, I'm never gonna be enough for you. Like, I'm always gonna be having to look over my shoulder, wonder where you at, and wonder if you talking to somebody.
You, baby, like, just reminiscing.
I was like, let's go, or whatever. We got in the car. On the way home, we was on the West Side Highway. I looked at him and I turned towards him and I kicked him in the face. As we was driving, because I'm like, we gonna die.
That's a crash out. Because y'all could have just like, I'm gonna kill this nigga.
Yeah, I was mad.
I'm killing us.
So I kicked him, and then the whole time in the car, he fighting me off. So we swerving and shit. He's drinking too. Right. Oh. We get to the house, the fight never stopped. So the fight is still going on. I had a loft. So I'm up the stairs. Yeah. I picked up the printer and I threw it at his head. And the next thing you know, everything was just flying down. So the house looked like that scene from Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Yeah. Like when they was fucking up the house. Crazy thing is, that nigga last name is Smith. So and we were in my house because I had moved out. Right. I literally broke all my own shit because I was throwing so much stuff. I had so much rage in me that I didn't even feel it. I didn't feel anything. All I know is there was glass everywhere. When I woke up in that morning, I had a blood clot in my eye. Half my hair was pulled out on the side. And I couldn't go to work for like 4 or 5 days because I had bruises all down my back. Because of course he was fighting me back. He wanted to get me off of him. Right. Police came twice. I never called them. I kept slamming the door in their face because I didn't want either one of us to go to jail. Right. I blacked out because I had swept so much hurt underneath the rug that I never actually dealt with any of it. That, I mean, more than anything, I was mad at myself. I was just like, girl, you done fucked up your back, you done fucked up your eye. He trying to, and I wasn't mad at him because like I did, I was going, but I hadn't fought in so long in Chicago. I was in a domestic violence relationship while I was in college for like 5 years, and I never hit him back. I just always used to try to retain him. Right. So with this situation, I was just like, I don't want to put my hands on it. I mean, because I lost it like that, I was just mad at myself because like I'm very on the like, don't put your hands on nobody, don't hit nobody. And the fact that I even turned and kicked that man and literally fought him on the West Side Highway all the way up to the Bronx, and then the house still was fighting, I blacked out. That's a crash out. Fuck crash out. I blacked out.
That's a
But it's because I didn't deal with the nonchalantness though. Yes, not saying nothing and not speaking up when you hurt.
Anger and all that built up. Definitely. Wow.
Yeah. So, and I think the domestic thing too has something to do with why I never dealt with my anger. Because even when in college, when I was going through all of that, I felt like I couldn't tell nobody about it. It was embarrassing. Finally, it got to a whole restraining order. I was going to court, everything. Like, it got really, really bad. And I also never told a lot of people. When people found out that I was going through that, like, they would only notice though when I didn't have my clothes on. Like, I used to, because I knew how to duck, so I never got hit in the face. Right. But I had a lot of body shots. I had like a lot of bruises and stuff like that on my body. And I just wanted to, like, for it to not be there. So I ignored it. In the same way with that second relationship, me ignoring things and not addressing things. But I think this is why I speak up now. You ain't gonna fuck with me now because I done been through with them.
God bless you,
so
baby.
I'm still nonchalant to the point where it's like I don't even want to fight because I don't want to fight. I'd rather just
you in that soft girl era.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't, and that's kind of, I still have a nonchalant. If something really hurt me, I would speak up on it. But if it's somebody that to me, you're not even worth me wasting my time or even my breath because you are who you are and I don't change people. I've tried to change people.
Right.
I've tried to ride or die and like go through the emotions with you.
We ain't dying.
I'm not going through no more emotions.
With nobody, baby.
I went through
not
the
dying.
domestic
We
one.
letting them
I
die.
believed him. Domestic one. I believed him every time after he done. Oh, I'm sorry. I never do it again. It kept going. This other one. I'm not gonna cheat no more. So it's like I've already heard all things. A person is who they is, which is why now I know I'm like, you are who you are. I'm good. Yeah. That's it.
Before we wrap up, any questions I didn't ask that you want to plug or anything like?
No.
Because that was a lot. So that was good. Like you just
fact that I can laugh
you made
about
the crash. You like it was a crash.
It was a crash, and I would never. But that is the one thing I would say. That's one thing I want to mention. Protect your peace.
Protect your peace.
And
that's the name of this episode.
And if you don't do nothing else, make sure that you get therapy. And if it's not therapy, find a way to deal with some of those things or whatever. Now I'm in probably the best place I've ever been. I have a therapist. I journal. I meditate. I pray every morning. Like I have a routine.
Right.
So my routine keeps me balanced because also business is just hard. So you put business on top of school and relationships and dating and navigating and friendships and stuff like that. I am very much so. You cannot shake me. I very rarely get mad. I know how to deal with things now. Right. I deal with them how I can. Sometimes I don't have to respond right away. So I'm like that now. Like I take my time to say something if I want to, because then I can decide whether it's even worth me mentioning it or bringing it up. If it's worth mentioning, I'll say it. If not, but being able to communicate effectively, that's one of my biggest things. And then also just being in tune with me. Like in business, if I'm not having a good day, I'm not going to my studio because I'm not finna have my aura rubbing off on them.
That's
you know,
fact.
Same way with friends. I'm not in a good mood. I'm not going out on events like that.
Right.
Learning how to say no to things that just don't align with me is one of probably the biggest thing or whatever. In the same way in business, not every partnership aligns. Not every opportunity actually is an opportunity for you. So being able to take a step back and being able to analyze what's right for you is the biggest piece of advice I can give.
And that's dope, man. Shout out to you coming through, breaking down this fashion industry. I got your contacts. I'm going to definitely need some advice. And I'm going to have you everything pull up at the bottom of the show where they could find you, where they could plug you. This was definitely dope. Shout out to you once again. Shout out to your assistant. Shout out to my man Dre in the building.
Up,
Shout out
Dre?
to Chio letting us hold a bakery down. For real. That's my brother. You see the pieces in here. You see he got quality. I want to get your thoughts on it before we leave. We gonna live how you like his quality pieces. Is it quality? Do you like what's going on here?
I like what I see in here. I like it.
Okay.
I like that he don't have just like regular like silk screen or like heat transfer. He got the good shit. He got embroidery.
Okay.
He got like 3D printing going on. Like he actually got
He
some
got
quality.
good shit. He got the good shit.
Quality service design. Some flocking over here on the back of this jacket. So
Okay.
I like when it's more intricate because anybody can like have a t-shirt and like put a fucking heat transfer on there. This heat. We thought about this.
Yeah.
We thought about size, placement, everything.
And on that note, yo, like, comment, subscribe, and vibe.